I don't know. I think that just the curb was the reason, but it's true that many riders, even in the test, I jumped that curb and nothing happened. But today, just I had a small moment in T4 on that corner, and I decided to went wide and come back. I say, okay, I just want to save a risky moment. But just when I jump the curb, the rear tire explode. So, very strange, very unlucky, I will say, because I was doing a race, super calm. You saw that I was managing well. But, it's like this. Just we need to think about the next race.
Is that something that you would speak to Michelin about perhaps after this race?
No, I mean, I don't want to lose time. Not to Michelin, and not to, but just I want to think on the next race. I think it's not a problem of Michelin, and it's not a problem of the track. It's just that double corps are good for some reasons, but today we see something unusual. But happened. The thing is that it was super strange because even the rim was completely damaged, even explode the rim. So I feel very lucky that it was not a massive high side.
Before that, in the race, we saw you drop back a couple of places in the opening laps, but then really got in the battle and took advantage of Pedro and Jorge having that battle, didn't you?
Yeah, it was super calm in the beginning. I knew that will be a long race for the tires, for my physical condition, and I say, okay, I want to be calm. Doesn't matter if they overtook me. And then when remained 10 laps is when I decided to attack. In fact, I was arriving, I think I was close to the podium, or every lap I was closer to the podium with catching Raúl and Pedro. But okay, today we scored 0 points, but the most important is that the level is there.
It's the first time we've not had a Ducati rider on the podium for quite some time, and whilst I know nobody will be panicking just yet, how disappointing is that for Ducati?
Yeah, of course, Ducati is working. We need to work well. We need to work hard, but no panic. I mean, here is a different casing, is a different tire. Let's see the next races. Of course, we need to work and we cannot sleep.
Thank you, Marc.
Thank you.
Marc, the complete opposite to how 2025 started, I suppose. Firstly, let's talk about the big talking point, the incident at Turn 4. What happened?
I don't know. Super strange. I mean, super strange because normally on the double curbs you need to be careful when you jump in. When you jump out, are made to don't create that issues on the bike. But when you jump in, you need to be careful. That is normal. But this time, even in the test, I jumped many times out there, and many riders, even in the practice. But this time, when I jump out, just the rim, the tire explode, the rear tire, and just I feel super lucky. I'm happy because it was close to a massive crash.
Did you feel anything strange in the middle of the corner? Because it looked like you just went a little bit wide, but it wasn't until you hit the curb where it all went wrong.
No, in fact, on that lap I was pushing, and I had a small moment on the middle of the corner, and then I say, okay, I push or I go to the safe way. And I decided to go to the safe way because, as you see, my race was try to control myself. The target was finish the race and score points. And then I go to the safe way, that was jump out on the track, lose some time and jump in. But when I jump out, we need to understand, I think will not happen again to anybody, but this time happened to me that the rear tire exploded.
There's clearly something missing across the Ducati package. Aprilia mega competitive, and if you look back to 2025 at the start, Ducati were the most dominant here. So what is missing at the moment for you and for Ducati?
Yeah, looks like the others did a step, especially Aprilia, even KTM with Pedro was riding very good. So we need to understand well what we can do, and yeah, keep working. This is competition, and competition means try to improve every race weekend.
How do you assess this weekend in its entirety, including the sprint yesterday and today?
No, it was a good weekend. We finished second yesterday in the quali, second in the sprint, and today the podium was something realistic. So happy with the performance, but we need to improve.
No sé si lo que ha pasado hoy es de esas cosas que duelen, porque ha sido justo en el instante en el que no sé si habías pasado ya de la gestión a sacar lo que de verdad tenías y daba sensación de que algo tenías al menos para llegar al podio.
Sí, ha pasado una de las cosas más inusuales, porque mira que en esa curva, incluso en los test, hemos saltado muchos pilotos fuera y no había pasado nunca nada, incluso yo. Porque es una curva típica que cometes un pequeño error, saltas, entras y no pasa nada. Y sobre todo tienes que vigilar normalmente en estos dobles pianos al entrar a pista, que es donde normalmente saltas fuerte, pero al salir no había pasado nunca que explotara la rueda. Y bueno, es cuando realmente está atacando. Cuando quedaban 10 vueltas era mi plan, gestionarme físicamente, gestionar neumáticos, y cuando quedan 10 vueltas dar todo. Es ahí donde estábamos dándolo. He tenido un pequeño momento ahí en la curva 4. He decidido ir por la parte segura. Digo, me voy fuera y volveré a entrar aunque pierda tiempo. Pero bueno, hoy la suerte no está de nuestra parte.
Se veía muy dañada la llanta. ¿Eso ha sido causa o consecuencia? O sea, ¿cómo se ha dañado la llanta por lo que dices de que primero has pinchado, o ha sido al revés, o sabéis?
Ha sido muy raro, no sé. No te sé decir. Lo que sí que me siento es afortunado de no, porque ha explotado el neumático, la llanta, todo, de no salir volando. Entonces, el que ha pasado, no sé, ha sido como si pillara un bordillo, pero el piano está hecho de tal manera que no puede pasar eso, pero ha pasado. Así que nada, no hace falta perder tiempo de pensar en que ha sido una cosa u otra. Las cosas son como son, ha pasado eso. Lo importante es que poco a poco me está encontrando mejor durante la carrera.
¿Cuánto mejor? ¿Dónde te veías?
Podio estaba cerca. No me gusta decirlo hasta que no lo estoy, o sea, no estaba suficientemente cerca, pero en esas últimas vueltas estaba viniendo con inercia, me estaba encontrando cómodo y veía que Raúl sobre todo estaba sufriendo mucho. Pedro, no sé, quizá me lo hubiera jugado con él hasta el final, pero al menos ese tercer puesto creo que sí que hubiera sido realista. Resumen, 0 puntos.